Alright, welcome to another class with Mathemasoft, and this is the continuation of our class on Surds. So here we want to be discussing the division of Surd, and that will lead us to explaining what we mean by rationalization. Okay. Now the first fact we need to establish as a basic is that answers are not written in source with the denominator being an irrational number. So in other words, you should not leave your denominator like this. Okay, denominator must not be written in what? Irrational number. Okay, so that's the basic thing you need to actually learn of in Surds. Your denominator should not be left in a rational number. Okay, so the process of changing denominator to a rational number is what we mean by rationalization. So rationalization simply means the process of changing a rational denominator to rational denominator. Okay, denominator. So that's what we mean by what? Rationalization. So it's the process. Okay, so rationalization is the process by which we change a rational denominator to a rational denominator. Okay, so our answers should never be in irrational form. That is our denominator, the denominator of your fractional answer. So if you have a fractional answer like this, the denominator must not be left in what? Irrational form. So when you have it in a rational form, you should try to actually take it to a rational form. So it's very, very important. So that is what we want to actually look at. And let's start with this root 2. That's this that we have 1 over root 2. So this 1 over root 2, let's say we were solving a question, that's a solved question, and then we have an answer that is written like this, 1 over root 2. And because we cannot leave our answer with denominator being in a solved form or being in irrational form, so we said that we must change the denominator to a rational number. So how do we do this? We know that the basic thing in a fraction is that whatever you do to numerator must be done to denominator. So let's say I want to rationalize root 2. I want to change root 2 to a rational number. The simplest way for me to do that is to multiply it by another irrational number in this form. So if I have root 2 times root 2, it will give me root 4, and that will give me a perfect square, which will definitely be what? 2. So if I want to change root 2 to a rational number, I'll multiply by root 2. The same thing, if you have root 3, to change root 3 to a rational number, multiply by another root 3, it will give you what? Root 9, which will give you 3. And so on and so forth. This will give me root 25. Okay, and that will give me 5. So with this knowledge, we can use that for this first one. So the best way for me to do this is to write 1 over root 2, and then I multiply my numerator by root 2 and denominator by root 2. Why? Because whatever you do to numerator must be done to denominator. So you can just say your focus is to make root 2 rational, then you multiply by another root 2, and then you leave numerator as 1. That will be mathematically wrong. So I can now say I have 1 times root 2. That will give me root 2 over root 2 times root 2 will definitely give me root 4. We should learn how to write this directly, but let me just write it this way first. That will be root 2 over 2. So this has been rationalized. Why? Because now my denominator is no more in root form, now is in what? A rational form. So we have rationalized it. So your numerator can be in surd form. For example, look at this, it's root 2. Our numerator is root 2, but my denominator must not be in what? In root form or in a irrational form. And this makes this answer correct. So if I have rationalize, okay, let's say 1 over 2 root 3, I have 3 over 4 root 5. Okay, let's take the first one. You may have something like this. So my first one, 2 root 3, I cannot leave my answer like this. But the only one that is actually in root form, that is irrational here, is root 3. So if I'm going to rationalize this, just take it and rationalize with root 3. That will be times what? Root 3 over what? Root 3. And that will be equals to what? Root 3, 1 times root 3, that's 2. Root 3 times root 3, that will be 2 root 9, which will definitely give me root 3 over 2 bracket 3, because square root of 9 is what? 3, and that will give me root 3 over 6, and this will be my what? Final answer. Okay, there are some people that some approach, they will say let's rationalize with what? 2 root 3. Well, you will still get the same answer. The only thing is that it's going to make it more complex. You'll be dealing with what? A bigger number. So the basic thing is for you to just carry the one that is in root there, use it to rationalize like this, and then you are going to have your answer with denominator being in rational form. So let's try number 2. Okay, 3 over 4 root 5. Okay, so this will be 3 over 4 root 5 times root 5 over root 5, and my numerator will result to 3 root 5, and this will be 4 bracket 5. Let's learn to write it directly now, because root 5 times root 5 will give me root 25, which will give me 5, and that will be 3 root 5 over what? 20. So this is how you can rationalize a single surd. Okay, a single surd. This is how you can actually rationalize it. In the next video, we'll be dealing with rationalizing using conjugate surd. See you in that class. Bye for now.